I'm Cheryl Waters. You've got it tuned to the Midday Show on KEXP, where the music matters. You can find us at 90.3 FM in Seattle, streaming live at kexp.org around the world. I am super excited to have TORRES live in studio today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you introduce this wonderful band before you play a couple songs?
Absolutely. This is Cameron Kapoor, Dominic Cipolla, Aaron Manning, and I'm Mackenzie Scott. Here is TORRES, though.
I'm very excited to hear songs from your new album, Three Futures. What are you going to start us off with?
Three Futures.
Excellent. Here's TORRES live on KEXP. That's TORRES live on KEXP, the title track from the beautiful new album, Three Futures.
pride or projection swells like insecurity. If only I could use that to hold you, I'll tell you I would use that to hold you. There's no one-lit corner of the room I'm in. There's no one-lit corner of the room I'm in. The skim of what has already been. I know every tense in which I cannot exist. There's no lit corner of the room I'm in. There's no I'm in.
That sounds so wonderful. We're live in the KEXP studios with TORRES playing tonight at Numos here in Seattle, and it's so great to hear you play these songs live. That was Skim from the new album, Three Futures. Mackenzie, I heard it took you 2 years to write this record, and that the theme of it is the joy of the body and everything that encompasses. And I'm curious to hear what the journey to getting to this record was like for you.
It was a pretty manic journey. Also a pretty depressive one, everything in between. I think that I spent a lot of years abusing my body and thinking nothing of it. As we do, it's pretty commonplace. And I got really tired of it. And, you know, I still do. I do things that I shouldn't in moderation, but I think that I just, I had to take a step back and reevaluate the way that I was treating myself, the things that I was consuming, the ways that I was spending my time, even, you know, ways that we kind of forget to consider, like, you know, time itself, rushing around, not taking time to just do nothing. I started to take time to do nothing and eat the right way and listen to my body and my mind in a way that felt better than it had before. So
It's very powerful that you talk about that. We're actually here this week at KEXP talking about something we talk about all the time, but talking about it more intensively, which is mental health issues. And it's very powerful when someone in the public eye like you speaks about depression and anxiety, because many people are experiencing that, and there can be shame and definitely feeling alone. And we're actually having a 12-hour day on the air where musicians and our listeners, we're inviting them to share stories and how music has helped them heal. And it sounds like this journey for you in discovering your body and taking care of yourself and listening to yourself was a really powerful journey, as you say, for you. And that it sounds like it very much impacted the way you create not just this record, but probably music going forward. It sounds like you wrote differently, you're playing your guitar differently, you're singing differently. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Everything changed, you're right. And I'm not exactly sure how cognizant I was of that as it happened. I think a combination of the things that I just described to you, and touring with my band, and just sort of picking up on the ways that we all play with one another. I think the combination of those influencing factors is the reason that I play my guitar differently now. I sing differently, and I don't know. I just think that when the entire headspace changes, how could the music not come out as something brand new?
One of the things that really delighted me that I read is that you wanted, in writing these songs, to create more space because you wanted to move around more on stage in the performance and within the song. And I just don't know why that delighted me so much, the thought of you saying, I'm going to write a song differently because I want to actually move in the physical space differently when I'm playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny, I didn't know that I love to dance so much. I'm not a good dancer. I like rhythm, and when I started feeling better in the body that I'm in, and my mind started feeling better, I wanted to move more, in all kinds of ways. I didn't want to sit down anymore. And another part of that is that, for me, I think I realized that a lot of my anxiety really manifests physically, and it presents itself as twitchiness, as idiosyncratic movements that I can't really control, and I sort of wanted to have that. I wanted to control it a bit better, and I wanted to shake some of that anxiety off. And for me, movement actually has a huge impact on that. Is just it kind of drips off of my skin when I get to dance, especially on stage.
Talking about moving your body, before we went on air, we talked a little bit about our shared love of walking. I know you live in New York now, so that's a great place to walk around, take in the world, be in your own mind. It seems like you're doing a lot of self-care right now. You've changed the way you eat, and I know it's always a give and take things. You can never, do something 100% of the time. But how has that sort of worked into your life and in your music?
Mm-hmm. I started walking again just to expel some of that kinetic energy, and it became sort of like going to church for me, a really holy sort of a headspace that I was able to sink into. And I just started walking the city up and down, and sort of without realizing it, I was walking the length of the city every day, and it was part of my routine. And so naturally, when all of that time is occupied, a lot goes on mentally, and I started writing while walking, writing not just lyrics and melodies, but I started to write beats, and they're all pretty mid-tempo, as you've probably noticed, and it's because it's kind of they kind of match my walking pace, and so I think that the music actually makes a lot of sense when listening to it while walking. That is kind of where I was at when I was writing a lot of these songs.
I was really interested to read that you created a special space for each song on this record. You gave it colors and smells. Can you tell me a little bit about that, or do I have that right?
Yeah. So I never do a great job at describing this, but before I started to map out the record, before I tried to write the track listing and get all of the songs in order, and before a lot of the songs were even written, I made sort of a blueprint with each of a house, and each room in this house I wanted to represent one of the songs on the record. And I think partially the house was kind of a manifestation of my subconscious, and I wanted each room to really be enveloping. I wanted each room to sort of be like a full sensory experience. So rather than just have each room sound like a certain song, I wanted each room to have a certain color scheme and a smell or a combination of smells and a certain feeling associated with it, like a lucid feeling. So each of the names that I gave to the rooms, each of the names that I gave to each room, it wasn't the song title necessarily. It was more like a really nebulous sort of a name, like the Sleep Easy room, or the Swimming with Swans room, or the Alkaline room. Really like these loose associations that I had with each of these songs, and I tried to impart those feelings and those colors and the smells into the music sonically and lyrically as well. I tried to sort of sprinkle those references in.
Did you find yourself returning to one room over and over, or feel most comfortable in one room?
Comfortable. Yeah, I think actually the title track, Three Futures, I think that was the coziest room for me.
That's interesting because you've talked a little bit in the past about the fear of the future.
I am.
Well, I'm glad to hear you feel cozy in there. We're live here in the KEXP studios with TORRES, who plays tonight at Neumos, a beautiful new record called Three Futures, and we'd love to hear more music from that.
I next time you're in the city, should you decide to call me, remember that I am dealing with a fresh that's far too willing.
You're listening to Torres live on KEXP, playing tonight at Neumos here in Seattle, tomorrow in Portland at the Doug Fir Lounge.
Never spoke a single lie, and still no one believes your side. You were born into the light, and Helen had you in her sights. You come home from school to find her naked in your bed. Everybody always said Helen funny in the herd. The witless ring to the voices in the trees. Keep an eye out good, 'cause Helen's in the woods. Mama proved they hitched your pose, so Helen broke her mama's nose. Your dad said, son, what'd you do to that girl? Something's gonna make her whiskers curl. Found her naked in your bed. Everybody always said Helen's funny in the herd. The work-class ring knew the voices in the trees. Warn the neighbors if you could. Tell them Helen's in the woods. Helen, come out, wherever you are. Come out, wherever you are. You come home from school to find her naked in your bed. Everybody always said Helen's funny in the herd. Threw her dignity to the voices in the trees. I'd leave the neighborhood, 'cause Helen's in the woods.
Three Futures, the brand new album from Torres. So great to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming in.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Always great to see you. You've got a tune to KEXP Seattle. Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.